Testing 1, 2. Go and set. All right, let's get into it. Where we at? Where we at? Intro. Let's go over here to our right. All right, so this is what my scanner is looking like this morning. We got ELAB leading with 145%, GWAV up 114%, AQMS up 92%, NVA up 37%. So those are our top four on the morning when it comes to low floats. NVA very light volume, hadn't even got close to 100 or a million shares traded. And so we're gonna focus on the ones that have crossed over that million volume mark, and we're gonna do our due diligence. So let's get into it. Let me go ahead and switch this over. So switch this over here. Bang. Okay. All right. So let's come over here to the main. Let's start off with ELAB, which is up the most, 143%, and see what we can see over here. Looks like it does not have any catalysts on today. Let's go and see what's going on over here on ELAB. ELAB here. PMGC Holdings. So it says PMGC Holdings is a biopharma company focused on the development and acquisition of cutting-edge aesthetic medicines and therapeutic products. The company's lead product includes EL22, a first-in-class engineered probiotic approach to address obesity, pressing issue of preserving muscle while on weight loss treatments. Okay, so we've seen obesity ones before. The main news that we saw move yesterday was battery news, right? So I don't want to get too off topic with things that aren't really connected to batteries. And so that's going to be a red flag on this one. And I mean, it's obesity. It's out of Newport Beach, California. So let me go ahead and notate that on the chart. This is an obesity. This is not on target. So our main news that we saw was batteries and AI yesterday. Okay. And this is dealing with obesity and keeping in weight or whatever. Obesity. This one was incorporated in 2020, based in California. Okay. Got that note out there. Let me move that over a little bit so I can actually see it. All right, so main news we have is batteries and AI, and this one's beast obesity out of California. So yeah, let's go to the next one, GWAV. Let's go look into that one. This is Green Wave Technology Solutions. Green Wave Technology Solutions, Inc., through its subsidiary, Empire Services, Inc., operates metal recycling facilities in Virginia, North Carolina, and Idaho. Wait, did I say Idaho? Ohio. Oh my goodness. It operates through three segments: scrap metal recycling, hauling, and other. The company collects, classifies, and processes appliances, construction materials, end-of-life vehicles, boats, and industrial machinery. It also offers ferrous metal, including heavy metal, steel, as well as plate, structural, and shredded scrap for recycling and production of finished steel. In addition, the company processes non-ferrous metals such as aluminum, copper, stainless steel, nickel, brass, titanium, lead alloys, and mixed metal products, and sells catalytic converters recovered from end-of-life vehicles. Okay, so all of these metals and things that it has, it's closer aligned with what the whole battery, recycling and all of that. So we'll notate that. I guess we could say precious metals or metals related to batteries, I guess. So I'm gonna notate that. So, so the main thing it was moving, we got precious metals. Metals and recycling. Now that could actually go up because due to batteries, so could be on sentiment from battery catalyst. All right, notate that. We haven't even looked at the daily charts yet. We'll get to that, see what kind of levels are up there. But right now, just doing the due diligence on the news part. AQMS, what you got out here? Aqua Metals. Okay, so Aqua Metals engages in reinventing metal recycling activities. So this is another metal recycling. The company's technology produces metals, alloys that can be returned into and this one is literally has battery in it. Battery manufacturing, supply chain markets, as well as sales metals for use in various advanced manufacturing industries. It's aqua refining a low emission and it's aqua refining, a low emissions and recycling technology that replaces polluting furnaces and hazardous chemicals with electricity powered electroplating to recover valuable metals and materials from spent batteries. Okay, so that one literally has batteries in the description. So let's go ahead and notate that. This is going to be battery recycling. It is out of Reno, Nevada. Incorporated in 2014. Reno, Nevada. Okay. All right, got that note out there. So it is literally aligned with what we're looking for. It does have lower volume, only 1 million shares traded on it. Let's go look at NVA. Went up to $59 today. So NVA. Nova Minerals Limited engages in the exploration of mineral properties in Australia and the United States. The company explores gold, antimony, and critical minerals. It owns 85% interest in the flagship Estelle Gold project, comprising 803 mining claims, covering an area of 514 square kilometers, located in the state of Alaska. Okay, they've jumped all over. So Australia, United States. Okay, I guess that does cover it. The company was formerly known as Quantum Resources Limited and changed its name to Nova Minerals Limited in December 2017. Nova Minerals Limited was incorporated in 1987, so it's been around quite a while. So gold and some of those critical minerals that could be used in batteries. So again, it's a close reach, but we'll see how people feel about that. It has not reached 1 million shares yet. We do have a new one popping on to the scene, JDZG. It's $3. It just cracked over 2 million shares. We're going to look at that one in just a minute. So let me notate what this one does. So Nova, it's like a sentiment. It could be something, but let's see. So minerals could be used in battery manufacturing. Okay. Activate that. All right. So we looked at those. Let's go look at JDZG. Does not have any catalyst for today. Let's go look what this company does. G. All right, so JIA through its subsidiaries provides education supporting services to adult education institutions through a spectrum of software platform and auxiliary solutions in the People's Republic of China. So this is already a Chinese company. So let's go ahead and notate that. All right, so we got Chinese company. Whoop. Chinese. It was incorporated in 2023, so has not been trading very long, and headquartered in Chengdu, China. Chengdu, China. Yeah. All right, so they're an education company, education slash technology. Education slash technology. All right, so we got our note there. And what was the other one? Saw CYN popping up here too. So CYN is another one. It's up 25%, just reached up to 1 million shares traded. So we got about six of them that are trying to make their way up. Let me go see what the catalyst on this one. It says CG or Syngin deploys drive mod with G&H Pepsi something. Pepsi, the largest independent Pepsi bottler in the US. Okay. I don't know what that's going to mean for everybody else, but drive mod tugger deployment with Pepsi. All right. Well, that's really not battery related, but it is catalyst on the day. So let's go ahead and notate that. So Syngin isn't exactly battery related, but it is some kind of drive mod with Pepsi, and it is naming Pepsi. That's a big company. So drive mod with Pepsi. Where is this company from, though? CYN. Okay, this is out of Mountain View, California. Syngin, an autonomous vehicle technology company, develops autonomous driving software in the United States. The company develops enterprise, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so it's just a autonomous cars. So drive mod, autonomous cars. All right, so we got that notated. Now let's pop out here to the daily charts and see where these things can go. So right now we'll start from the top. What's up 128% ELAB. Where's that note I put out there? So this one was an obesity company, which as you can see, people have kind of left it alone. It just reached 10 million shares traded as an obesity company, and people are like, there's better things up here. G-Wave, this one, precious metals and recycling, could go towards the battery topic, but people again kind of not so hot on that. AQMS, battery recycling going on down. So we want something that's kind of looking bullish to kind of look at. Chinese education company is JDZG. This one, NVA, is doing a lot of gapping around. Went up to 59, came back down here to 47, wrapped back up to 52. And we're going to start looking for structure and the daily charts to line up. The most bullish looking one right now is CYN, so that's the one we'll see what the daily chart's looking like on it. Let's maximize daily. Let's get over here. So CYGN, it is off topic, but we'll see. Let's go, and these are old levels that I had put in way back whenever, June. So I'm going to clear all of that so I can start fresh. All right, so this one is up to $6 and something. 682. So it's already back under that peak right there. and not a whole lot of obvious stuff. So I don't know. It'll have to definitely continue to fight. It's got a lot of fighting to do, and I don't want to fight with it. I like to be in something that's going to kind of move a little bit easier. NVA daily chart closed at 34.16, gapped up all the way to the 50s, 59. So let's zoom back a little bit. Is there anything obvious? Not really. It's just in no man's land up there. So NVA, nothing obvious to be traded on. It's just, and that's one thing I've noticed is blue skies can be very, very dangerous for longs because you don't know where the wall is. And in shorts, you don't know where the wall is. AQMS, we had a top up here. Let's see. So it closed at 991. So we'll go ahead and clear the drawings down here. 13-ish is the peak here on this level. Previous peak. So we'll call this a peak daily level. Okay. And this was the one that had, where's the note I left? Did I leave a note here? Maybe I didn't. Oh, it didn't have any catalyst. I'm not sure why. Did my note disappear? I'm pretty sure I put notes on all of them. Yeah, this was a metal recycling. Maybe I didn't save the note. Okay, let me put that back on there. Reinventing metal recycling. So metal recycling, and they had battery. They actually recycle 4 batteries. So metal recycling for battery manufacturing. Okay. And they are based out of Reno, Nevada. I know I wrote this. Okay. There we go. All right. So maybe I accidentally deleted. Oh, when I cleared the drawing, that's what it was. Oh, man. I hope I didn't clear the drawing on the other ones. G-Wave, that's still there. E-Lab, that's still there. Okay, cool. I was like, what? All right. Anyway, we looked at NVA. Isn't keeping up with the volume. This one is all the way up here, went up to 26. So right up under this level here. Had a little peak daily level up here around 28. Let's go ahead and duplicate, drag that on up. We had a little peak here. So it's kind of trading within here, but let's continue to look around. JZG continue to suck up volume. This is the Chinese education, and it is looking the most bullish, which is scary. All right, GWAV, nothing. Okay. So if people want to continue trading JDZG, I'm going to be looking for that thing to fall out of the sky. It's about to be the top volume mover. It's up 95%. And we don't have any true structure on this one. See, it's broke the highs, didn't really get a true setup here, and then broke out again to 375. So the last breakout was all the way up here to 350, and then 25 cents more. 25 cents more. So gotta wait to see if that thing's gonna die out. But we do have some that are dipping down with the previous news that we were watching, batteries and AI. So I want to see which one of these actually starts to come back up, if it's going to come up at all. We have a little bit of top here at 22.50. We had a peak out here at 1992. So we got one little bit. We'll see how that ends up holding, if it wants to get up. Then on E-Lab, we had 1883 up here at the highs. And that's kind of, there was kind of a downtrend here. But it kind of got out of that level, started consolidating. See how it held that? And then it came up, to a little peak here, and now it's just in consolidation. So I'm wondering, can it test within these levels here? 1128 came to a bottom, new bottom here. It's gonna have to start showing us some type of uptrend. It does have 10 million shares traded, but yeah, it's gonna definitely need some more volume. That's batteries and AI. This one, G-Wave, it's just that volume's falling on down. JDZG, the Chinese company, of course, it's falling. CYN went up there to 713. And this one had the Pepsi catalyst. They're putting out autonomous software with Pepsi. But still no real structure that we can kind of see. It came out here, broke over that high, kind of did not almost a double top, and now fading again. AQMS. Yeah, it's just I'm not seeing a whole lot of structure. And even on the daily charts, it's not really clear, levels here. So like GWAV, it went up to $22, right? And it's back within this gap. So this gap here, let's go ahead and mark this up. It's number 2 on the day. So yeah, we got this gap here from 18. This is the high gap. This gap, higher gap, higher daily gap. Then it's got a lower daily gap all the way back down to 13 on GWAV. So it has a gap that it can get back into if it wants to. But those are the main obvious levels that it's got around here that shorts may be willing to push it back in there. CYN, nothing obvious over there. NVA, nothing obvious. J, it went up to 375, so that is almost the top here, this peak. So we will name this one peak daily level. And beyond that, it was just a big drop. So 381, I don't know if it's going to be able to hold that anyway. AQMS, GW, it's just GW has way more reason to try to fill this gap back to the downside because it gapped from 851 all the way through this gap. So the chances that it's going to actually try to fill this gap back to the downside is pretty high to me. But ELAB still up here playing around. It did get passed up by, or it's about to get passed up by JDZG. So the majority of the focus is over here on a trash Chinese education stock. And I just misspelled technology. I just saw that. Okay, let me fix that. Okay, anyway, if they're focused on trading this stock over the other ones, I want to be very careful with what's going on. Because I want to I try to figure out, are we in an irrational or irrational market? If it's irrational, we see things either without catalysts or like JDZG without catalysts going up, and it's like, bro, where are the rational people here? And it can just go. CYN again with another little small breakout. First one was from 680s up to the $7, so about 20 cents there, and then 702 up to 739s. We were looking for any kind of pullback. It just has done 1, 2 legs, and now forming another little high here at 739 with 4 million shares traded. So it's coming on up, but it's only up 30%, so it's still not in the top 4. See. And this one, AQMS, I don't like when they start gapping around like this because you can lose a lot of money if it opens and gaps all the way back down, tries to fill these levels here. GWA doing the same thing. And ELAB again down here. Obesity, man. And the wait, why do I have main? Oh, okay. Yeah, let me erase main news because this is obesity. Let me just say Obesity California Company. There we go. And bring that note down a little bit so I can see it. All right. Let's see. Yeah, from what I'm looking at right now, I just got to hit the pause button on some of this because the obvious levels are underneath them. It's like, wait a minute. They got a lot of reason, or either they're already under the obvious levels. Like this one, peak level was 381, and it's struggling to even get over 350. NVA going up on low volume, not even a million shares traded yet. CYN again with another duck down. Donnell says he's looking at CYN. It's just not obvious on the daily chart to me on CYN. This daily chart just looks like, I don't know. The price is okay. You know, the Pepsi catalyst. Wait, it says J&G Pepsi. What is J&G Pepsi? Is that the same as? Is J&G Pepsi Pepsi? What is J&G Pepsi? Or L&G. Did I say J&G has been L&G Pepsi? Did I say that right? No, G&J. G&J. I'm tripping. G&J. And J Pepsi. Okay, it's a Pepsi. It's a family-owned, independent Pepsi bottler. So they bottle, and they've been founded in 1990 or 1925. Headquartered in Cincinnati, Ohio. It is the largest independent Pepsi bottler in the United States. Okay, well they still got pool, but they're not Pepsi. They're a bottler for Pepsi. The company is still led by members of the founding families and employs over 1,900 people. So not exactly Pepsi on CYN. That's why people aren't like, oh man, let's just go get this. So I'll be careful with that one too. I'll be careful with all of these actually, because something's going on. Something's going on. All right, well, while we got time, while things are kind of slow right now, let's go and look at the front page of Yahoo and see who's over here telling us a story. All right, so Wall Street deals bonanza boost profit. Wait, Wall Street deals bonanza boost profit at JP Morgan. China hits back at US with shipping in its crosshairs. Wells Fargo ups guidance on key benchmark for profit. BlackRock pulls in 205 billion. Pulls in 205 billion in as private assets shine. Broadcom to launch AI network chip as Nvidia rivalry heats up. Great debasement. Debate risk rippling across global markets. Now, when I'm looking through these, I actually want to notate these larger companies that are moving on the day that are up like 5%, because 5% for a large cap is pretty big. So I want to make sure that they're not going to be sucking up the volume from other things that I'm watching. China hits back, but this news right here isn't directly on Qualcomm, but Qualcomm's up 5%. I want news on the ticker that we're looking at. Let's see. Wells Fargo jumps ups guidance. BlackRock, 2 billion, 2.5 billion, whatever it is. Broadcom to launch AI. Nvidia chip rivalry heats up. Google plans 15 billion 15 billion AI data center and biggest India bet. Okay, but that's just planning. Not too worried about that. AI stocks are in a bubble. Most investors say tariff tensions create gold from crypto. Yep, all my cryptos bounced back up after this recent fall. U.S. stock futures slide as big banks report China hits back. GM to take a 1.6 billion hit as tax incentives for EVs are cut and emissions rules ease. Okay, so GM, that's something. Let's see what they're. Let me put them in there to watch. See if they end up getting killed today. Google announces 15 billion investment in AI hub in India meant to drive digital transformation. Okay, so they actually, is it not planning? Let me see, where is that? What was that? BlackRock pools, Google plans, and then it says Google announces this move. Okay, so I watch Google as well. And if these big behemoths are moving and sucking up, volume and stuff, I'm like, okay, well, maybe today isn't a small cap day. Tariffs are the wake up call, supply chains needed. Google to invest. UK regulator backs tokenized funds to attract younger investors. Alibaba Cloud business launches second data center in Dubai. Okay. Exclusive AI lab Lila Sciences tops 1.3 billion valuation. That's just a valuation. Okay. All right. So let's see what they're talking about. Big banks earnings on deck. So we got bank earnings coming up. These are things we'd like to be in the know about.
A big picture, what are some of the themes?
Hold up. I started at the wrong point. Okay.
Talk to us now about earnings. Sort of big picture, what are some of the themes we should be looking for?
Sure, yeah. So on Tuesday, we have Citigroup, JP Morgan Chase, Wells Fargo, and Goldman Sachs all reporting. Morgan Stanley and Bank of America will go on Wednesday. And really what we're expecting to see, we've already seen some deal-making data over the summer that should indicate it should be a good quarter for these banks in their Wall Street operations. Trading also is expected to do well from what we've heard from senior executives. But there's going to be some increased scrutiny into consumer and commercial credit this quarter. And that has a lot to do with a few things. One, just given the government shutdown, investors will want to know how that could affect everything from student loans to IPO approvals. They'll also be kind of paying attention to what has happened in the kind of the middle market segment or traditional lending side of the banks. And that has a lot to do with these two automotive bankruptcies that are separate and maybe idiosyncratic, but nonetheless do kind of raise some attention to people who are not normally paying attention to this. The credit environment generally for the big banks over the past couple of years has been fairly good, and everyone I speak to have used terms like pristine and benign. And I think really we kind of learned through these two bankruptcies that generally corporate debt in America is kind of like that until it suddenly isn't. And although these are idiosyncratic scenarios, we're going to want to understand how the banks are thinking about this now. Bankers kind of have this talk that they bring up often, which is sort of that during the best of times, sometimes the worst loans are going to be made. So they're incredibly vigilant right now about that, given everything that's going on.
Right. Let's swing back over. We'll come back to this. Let's swing back over to.
Well, I think the
All right, let's swing back over to our stocks here. So JDZ taking another little dive. Chinese stock. And again, with these Chinese stocks, what we see is these wicks, man. It starts wicking and starts tearing people's pockets up with wicks. And I don't know if these wicks are going to get bigger and bigger, because that's what usually happens. The body gets smaller and the wicks get bigger. CYN, again, not really with Pepsi. They're with the Pepsi bottler. So, NVA did do a little breakout of this high. Minerals could be used in battery, but the volume is still under 1 million, even with this huge move from 52 up to $65. Hasn't even touched 1 million shares traded. GWAV continuing to look downward, up 81%. We got 3 of them. Let me pop up this scanner here. So scanner, this is what my scanner is looking like right now. Let's see, it's watch list. Okay, yeah, this is what my scanner is looking like right now. We got ELAB up 102 with 10 million shares traded. We got G-Wave up 83, and then AQMS, MBA, and JDZG all in the 70s. So, you know, a lot of battling, but nothing really standing out to me. So I'm just going to kind of hit the pause button, continue to do my due diligence, learn as much as I can on the morning before, you know, before getting into anything. You never know, something new may pop up that will give us the opportunity that we're looking for. But, you know, if the opportunity is not there, I'm looking for structure. Well, first I'm looking for obvious daily levels to build structure around, right? Then I'm looking for, hey, what is the catalyst here? Is the catalyst going to force shorts out of this? Is this something that's going to create short fear? Because we can go back and look at the ones that we looked at yesterday. Let me flip us back over to, where'd it go? There. Okay, so we can flip back over to the ones we saw yesterday moving up, like STI. STI, I traded during the pre-market, right? Back here when it was like $11 or whatnot. And the catalyst, though, the catalyst that it had with AI and all of that, look how it carried it throughout the rest of the day. It went all the way up to $27. I was trading at $12 to $11. I got my, on that winner that I took, I got $1.13 per share on that one. But I mean, look at it. It definitely, that catalyst continued to carry those shorts up. So it is what it is on that one. But let's go back and look at, let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean off STI. It's a little bit higher price now. I don't know if it's actually gonna be something that's going to be heavily traded to the upside. LMB was one that was called out yesterday as well. The reasons that I did not like LMB is, one, it was a higher float, so you'd be waiting to get your money. Like, yeah, it made a move from $3.50 or wherever it started down here, $3.26 up to $8, but you would have had to wait the whole day. So the time there definitely wasn't worth it to me. So I stayed away from LMBM. Now, if you're a swinger or you like the whole things, hey, more power to you. But that is not my rhyme. Nuke was going up yesterday as well. Went up from $8 up to $12 on low volume. And I saw that one. Didn't want that either. Chipping around. Did not have any catalyst yesterday. And now, let me see. Reno, Nevada. Looking like, what does it want to do? Well, it's only up 1 million shares. I don't know. Still not leading the day. ELAB is, the obesity stock is tripping. I don't want that either. And this one, with all this gap, and it's going to have to come down and fill these gaps. So it can easily come back down here to 17, trying to fill a gap. I don't want to get caught up in that. CYN back up towards the top. This one has the Pepsi bottler. 739 was its previous high. Let's go ahead and mark this up. So it had a previous high here. It might knock through there, but that's almost a double top. I don't know. We'll see. kind of staying under that. And it might end up breaking it here. Okay, new high there. So invalid. Got to find structure on that one. JDZG pretty much gave all of its little small gains back to $3. Just continue to fall. So do my due diligence. All right, 650 or 65.99 up here on this low volume, just hit a new high. 66.58. It just hit 1 million shares traded. And what I gathered from it, it has it's a mineral type stock, so they could be used in battery development and manufacturing. And that's the only thing that I notated from this one. But I mean, it's looking like it wants to go to $70 on just 1 million shares traded. It started down here at 36, went up to 69, and then double topped here at 69.16. But this is no rush trading. This is do your due diligence trading. So let's jump back over here.
President got a stark reminder from the stock market on Friday that 155% tariffs result in a trade embargo. And just
oh no, I didn't take another position on STI. I didn't even my goal is to get 30 cents per share. I got $1.13, so I got, let me see, what was that? $1.13, like 3 or 4 times what I was looking for on a day. I didn't take another position on STI. I left it alone. During the intraday, it was a lot more choppy, especially towards the highs. So it was just, nah. I just definitely, yes, it had range, but the structure was confusing on STI. When I saw it, let me see. So I had my morning meeting. I got out of the morning meeting like somewhere around maybe up in here somewhere, like 10:30ish, somewhere up in here. And this is when I saw it. I was looking, hey, where's the structure here? And so I was marking and I saw this thing come up here. I was like, it's up at highs. 15 was that gap level that it was holding here. It tried to get down to it. I didn't know if it was going to rip or fall. It ended up ripping through this level. Consolidating again, acting like it was going to fall and going back up. And I was like, you know what? I'm cool. All these wicks, we didn't see these types of wicks in pre-market back here. It was a lot more clear. I had my levels and all of that. So I was like, I'm missing tools here. I don't want to risk it. Yeah. So I definitely was tempted for sure. I think that it was FOMO actually, because when I saw it, I was like, okay, I was trading. I got what I wanted. I got over what I wanted, but the FOMO was real. I was sitting on that buy button, but it is what it is.
just like he learned over the summer,
Okay, let's see what she's talking about.
the president got a stark reminder from the stock market on Friday that 155% tariffs result in a trade embargo. And just like he learned over the summer, that does not bring in revenue, that does not boost the U.S. economy. Tariffs are taxes, and a 155% tariff rate, which is what would happen if he followed through with his True Social post on Friday, is the United States and China would effectively stop trading in a whole mess of goods, $550 billion worth of trade. And so that learning process had to play out again, and that's where we are right now. So Trump sort of predictably, and as the street expected, walked it back on last night, and now we are in sort of wait and see mode. It's my view that expectations had gotten too far over their skis for a Trump-Xi meeting in South Korea at the end of this month, and they had to reel that back in, which is what the president did on Friday, and then reeled that back in on Sunday.
I mean, Scott Besson is out today saying that meeting could still happen, but it sounds like you're skeptical.
Well, I think that meeting will happen. They'll both be there. So it makes sense that they would meet, and it could be seen as escalatory if they don't. But as I was trying to relay here, the expectations were that at that meeting, President Trump was going to get some big deal on U.S. soy purchases. He was trying to telegraph that to farmers. Hey, just wait and see. We don't need to act right now on a bailout package because we're going to be getting a deal with China to buy up all of our soy. And that is obviously most pressing to a number of Republican states going into the midterm election cycle as they face what they're calling Farmageddon. So there had been these inflated expectations of an agriculture deal that is not in the works. And I think Trump had to telegraph that there were other issues, and China gave them an opportunity by putting export restrictions on their rare earths. So a lot of table resetting happening over the last week.
And so, Henrietta, when all is said and done, does this come back to the so-called taco trade that Trump always chickens out, that the market did what it did on Friday and then he sort of backpedaled?
Yeah, I definitely think the market sent a message when he tweets on a Sunday ahead of futures opening. It's pretty obvious at this point what's happening. And the 100% tariff rate that he proposed, again, would have been even higher than what we saw deliver a material negative reaction from the markets over the summer. So here we're dealing with taco again. I think the tariffs will continue to escalate. We are going to go into a November 10th date, but they cannot go up 100% on top of the 55% we already have in place. 155% tariffs are just unworkable.
All right. Back over here to NBA. It did get on through $70 and it's barely over 1 million shares traded. So this is a highly dangerous stock here. Let me make sure this thing isn't going to play something. But this is a highly dangerous stock being on this low volume. It's got other stocks up 10 million shares and it's still outperforming everything. It's up 112%. So until this falls, I don't really see anything else kind of coming up to challenge it right now in the low floats. GWAV down there 79. Now this one does kind of look like a double bottom. This is the lower gap down here. It could be moving on sentiment. It stopped around this level multiple times, this $15 level, but it's I'm kind of I don't know about this one. The volume kind of died on it. It looks pretty good in this dip though. So it came up here, had a big explosion, has the previous structural level is up here at 19, but it's not clear if it can move that much. That's a $4 move. So I'm not sure. It's got 7 million shares traded, but NVA has me kind of on pins and needles. I want to see this one fall first. I know shorts got to be either watching this or bailing out of it because there's not a lot of movement over here. The point of control on this one, NBA, is at 61, 62 on the 1 minute. Look on the other ones. It is on, so, oh wow, way down there, 50, 35. So 50, 30, this is a huge point. And this is what I don't like. If the point of control is this big, that means there's no volume being traded. So on the 5 minute, it shows 50, 35 here. Somewhere up in here, all the way up to 15 minute is showing 59.07 and 1 minute is showing 62 something. So look how big this, I mean, I like to see a much smaller range, a much smaller concentration. This is a $10 movement here. So this was not something that I'll be trading just based on how wide the points of control are. ELAB. Let's see, that was the obesity stock. Not too worried about that one. Yeah, you gotta definitely watch. Yes, it has range, but can you find a concentration where you can get in with a lot of people? Is what I'm looking for. This one, GWAV has a point of control here at 1756, up to 1785. So 1785, somewhere up in here. And we'll see. Yeah, I want it to move the point of control back down here to show me that people actually want this thing at 16. Because right now, I'm just not sure about that. That's a almost $2 move back up. ZG did go under $3. It's at 287 now, Chinese stock, and we can see the wicks, all those wicks. CYN again finding more resistance up here at 750 with no true structure. So the point of control here, CYN, is at 687, from 687 down to 694. So this is a little bit tighter, but based on what we saw in the news, it being connected to a Pepsi bottler, I don't know how massively bullish that's gonna be. So what was that? 687, 686 up to 694. So something like this is that point of control where the majority has been traded. We'll see how, if it breaks that down heavier, what back towards the sevens. Okay. But NVA, man, he can definitely do some falling. All right, so the previous level here was 1467. 1467. Keep going back to GWA because I mean, it looks good if it had more, I guess, more volume, man. Because it looks like a double bottom, or even maybe came down here 1, 2, 3 times. But with the point of control not being down in this level, a lot of people just haven't been active here. All right, 75. Okay, so it's looking like it's finding some type of top up here. Whoops. Let me get my little stick out. So this is our tip top. And we're just following the bodies of the candles, all of those outliers, and see how it ends up holding. It's got a huge level down here. It's got to figure out. AQMS. Exactly. Sometimes you just gotta. Now, one thing I can say, I have made money on the irrational, but I've made money on small share size. So like I found things that meet my criteria, and maybe it doesn't have a catalyst, but it meets my criteria for the most part. And the only thing that's missing is catalyst. I size down, and usually it blesses me. When the irrational moves are happening, I'm like, oh wow, I didn't think that was gonna work. But hey, it pops up, $1, $2 per share. I'm like, yes, sir. Yes, sir. I will take that all day on small share size. And then the other thing is, if it's irrational, the rules still count, or the rule still stands if it's good in somebody's eyes, or it could be good, And when people start seeing it rise through the ranks, it's like, oh boy. Oh boy. Let's see. But yeah, for this morning, it's like it's coming back down to this little tightly traded level. It's gonna have to figure something out. A lot of wicks on CGen. That one kind of freezing up. GWA. See, I hate when they do these little gaps, man, because usually especially on the 1 minute, they try to fill these gaps. They'll come down and they'll slice you down there. Or I've seen where they even move away from this level, but it's got a little gap like this, and it throws a wick all the way back down here to fill that gap. I'm like, bruh, no way. No way that just happened. But this is defensive trading at this point. Why does it seem like the volume's just drying up in small caps? Am I stupid? All right, let's go watch our, let's see. Whoops. Let's see what she's talking about over here.
Bitcoin is rebounding today to some extent after Friday's steep losses. Have the jitters been shaken out, or should investors prepare for more turbulence in the sector? Joining me, Kavita Gupta, Delta Blockchain Fund founder and general partner. Good to see you, Kavita. And I want to talk about some of what you're investing in. But first, we got to talk about what happened Friday, which seems to have really been exacerbated by the leverage that people appear to be taking out to buy crypto, and that then all crumbles when you see a downside move like that. In your view, is that partly what happened, and what are the implications then for crypto going forward?
It's been a crazy market with $20 billion wiped out in liquidity on one day. And there has been a lot of conspiracy theories about what really happened. Of course, Binance said it has a technical glitch with some of the altcoins listed way below what it was in any other places, which made the liquidity really happen in the perp market with a huge response on Hyperliquid, a bad response with a over $30 billion liquidity playing in. Lot of different applications. It was like a complete house of cards going down with a lot of liquidations going from top to bottom. And that has taught us, or some for a lot of people, it gave us flashes back to 2021 FTX Luna crash. But the only thing out here is market recovered very fast. Like ETH figured out above 4K again. You could see Solana going up again 13 to 15%. The blue chip tokens have definitely picked up. Doge did a really good turn back, but the altcoin has really washed down, and we're going to see some time before the altcoin rally going to happen again.
And do you think for most investors that the place to be is not necessarily in those altcoins, but more to stay in the more sort of established and liquid markets in crypto?
I think, Julie, that depends upon whether it is going to be institutional investors versus retail investors and the profile of your risk. If you're an institutional investor, you are anyways going Bitcoin, ETH, Solana, XRP, Doge, like bunch of those very blue chip tokens, which are doing very good recovery. But if you're a typical crypto trader or managing a liquid fund like us, which has a little bit more risk associated with it, you're gonna still go with a very sound technical coins like EtherFi, Sei, Aptos, Sui. But yes, there has been a bigger wash over there, but we are expecting a bigger recovery just based on the technology and the team supported to it.
And Kavita, I'm curious kind of where we are in terms of the next technological wave within crypto, or even policy wave. You know, this year we have seen obviously a big sea change from Washington. We've seen stablecoins sort of take more institutional hold with the IPO of Circle as well. What should we be looking for next in terms of, you know, sort of the next phase of crypto?
When we think about technology, I mean, I would have said if it's just a trend, digital asset treasuries are always already taking $1 trillion, $1 billion. And also one of the reasons that deities like Tommy Lee's digital asset bought a lot of ETH at the low point. But if we are talking only about technology wave, I would say two big ones. The interoperable stable coins are going to be a big technology, because if every technology company, if every bank is going to issue their own customer stable coin, we're going to have a huge problem in the interoperability. The very similar thing which we saw when there are 1,000 different coins, different layer one blockchain like Solana, Ethereum, Arbitrum, Polygon, etc. came in. How do you do the interoperability and settlement? And then the second big one, which we are already seeing with Ondo and Athena slowly slowly getting very big institutionalized are the yield products. Today, when you have USD, you are expecting somewhere treasury rates of 2 to 3%, all the way up to some savings and different hedge fund products. But also with stable coins, you can easily go between 6% to 15% using decentralized finance. And that, I think, is going to be a huge institutional adoption product and going to change the way we see Wall Street or the banking financial system.
Kavita, we'll be tracking it all. Thanks so much.
All right, so yeah, crypto. I mean, if it was a leverage thing, I don't use any leverage on crypto. I buy cash. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna buy this thing outright. I'm not trying to take a loan to invest. That's what I work for. I'm cool. Let's see. All right, so let's look back, swing back through MVA. So we're starting to see some type of respected structure here. ELAB, obesity just is dead. I don't even know how that thing's still holding up. This one came up to 1667, but again, it's gonna probably end up filling this gap down here to 1536. I've seen that happen so many times on low volume swings. It's like, nah, man, I'm good. CYN did come down and tap our level that we had marked here. This highly concentrated point. The point of control moved up to 710. So it may be forming something new, but we're not sure yet. We don't really have any true structure here. Well, if it makes an outlier here, we could. Has a value level up here at the top at 731, and then at the bottom down here is 663. So this would be forming another outlier movement within the value level. So we're going to see how that candle closes on CYN. Plenty of wicks though. This is a wiki stock. 13 million shares traded on it. Still being overperformed by something that doesn't even have 2 million shares traded on it. Ooh, that thing snatched back. Man. All right, well, there's another outlier. So let's go ahead and mark that up. And we'll see if this is a respected, oh, that might be wrong. Let's try that again. Right down into that area of previous concentration. We'll see if it snaps through it aggressively through the bottom of this. 686. Got quite a bit of a snatch down off of that structure there. And it's only up 26%. JDZG. Okay, so it must be the top. Oh yeah, 7 o'clock just happened. So it's the top of the hour, and we're starting to see some popping. 68. You got all the way. You got room all the way to 62, my boy. Go ahead and make that quick trip. So now everything is under 100%. So let's go back over here to the scans, what my scans are looking like now. And watch list. So this is what we're looking at. ELAB leading. So now everything's falling under 100, and it's kind of hard to gauge where things are, what's going to take control, because right now it's all over the place. Low volume movers are up. High volume movers are down. The catalysts are kind of sitting in no man's land. So just going to be a patient day. Maybe something during intraday. Maybe something where I have to play low this today. Because yesterday I played high. May have to play something that gets catalyst, but people are like, oh, is that something that we want to trade? And then have to come off the bottom. But a lot of those, I have to play those quickly off the bottom during the open. Go ahead and sell because I've lost quite a bit of money trying to hold things that I buy on the bottom, expecting it to completely reverse. Even when I go green, like I get 30 cents or whatever, but I'm like, man, I'm gonna keep holding because this is on the bottom and I'm looking for this thing to move up. I found that does not work for me. When I have my 30 cents, I need to start taking some profit, need to start pocketing some money. And I can always re-enter back on the lows if it returns. But if I'm fighting a downtrend already, I don't want to be spicing it up with by not taking the profit. All right, let's jump back out to NVA coming on down. So now ELAB is the only thing over 100%. The obesity stock, I'm not touching that one. G-Wave still hasn't filled the gap down here, 1530s. Now we're seeing a little bit of structure here on JDZG. Nice little outlier here to the 3, whatever that is. Bottom, flat bottom down here to 283s. Had a kind of spike down through there though. So the lows is 266, but spike down. So we're starting to find some type of structure, which is good. That things are starting to make some type of sense. Okay, NBA, you want to get on down there into our box. It's working its way down. I'm definitely going to be watching GWAV after the open. I want to see it fill this gap down here, 1530s though. Come back down there, fill that, and then try to come back through. CYN did get back past our heavily consolidated level here, kind of dumped straight through it, and now it's trading under it, 23%. JDZG continuing downward as well. This one is literally like an inch away from our box. We also saw that there was news on Google. There was news on GM today. So I'm watching those to see if they end up. Let me refresh this page. See if anything new is here. Okay, not really. 31, 8 minutes ago. Dixori secures 165 million to accelerate AI-driven warehouse intelligence. I don't know what Dixori is. Germany to allow retirees to earn 2,000 a month tax-free. Nexperia says it's negotiating with both US and China over export controls. Okay, smart ring, tariffs. All right. ELAB going on back down. This one took a nice slow grind higher. So the only two we have over 100% is ELAB and GWAV right now. Double topping right at that point of control. Still within the overall downtrend. I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna see if this level here feels at 1540 and look and see if it can actually try to attack this uptrend. Let me go ahead and get that marked up. So we got this gap that it needs to fill. All right, so we got our gap that I want to see it fill. Even if it crashes this gap and comes back up to it, that'll work for me. So it's got the lower gap on the daily chart, but this is a pre-market gap, and this is the higher daily gap. So giving it some time, things don't look good after the open. Usually I don't trade right at the open. I kind of let things, because the open is a new session. So, you know, right at the top of the open, a lot of times TOS, especially being a free broker, it has issues. Sometimes the candles take a little bit to kind of catch up with the data. Sometimes it's like you can see the level 2 moving, but you don't see the actual candles moving. So I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna wait until some of this data kind of shakes out and people can tell me further the story of what's going on. CYN bounced right back through that highly traded level, but has not broken out of this this downtrend. Keeps getting slapped back down towards it. NVA came right up to that structure there. It's not able to break it. It did barely tap that our box there at 62. Just scratched it a little bit. All right, well, I'm about to get ready to get out of here. The things that I'm going to be watching is GWAV unless something else pops up with Catalyst. GWAV could be a little bit of continuation based on the idea of it doing precious metals recycling. They could go towards the whole battery AI type deal as sentiment, but I'm not sure. If something comes out stronger than it, hey, I will be definitely okay with jumping over to that. CYN back within our box. Continues hitting it. Yeah, it is what it is today. I'm not super excited about anything I'm seeing though. All right, well, yeah, I'm about to get ready to get out of here. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. GWAV just playing around, man. But I'm not gonna touch it until I see that 1535 get tested. Could be a nice little trap in there. Anyway, that's it for me today. I'm about to ship out. You're gonna continue trading. Definitely keep your head on a swivel. Do your due diligence, and you know, don't trade what you don't know that much about. Even if it doesn't have catalyst, it needs to have like be following the sentiment or something. Be along the lines of, you know, something that can make a move for you. All right. Stream. Let's go ahead and shut it down. What do we want to do here? Yeah, let's do that one.